In business, you need to communicate who you are. Who are you? Well, my name is, and I'm with whatever association. What do you specialize in? Domestic, international, civil, criminal? And I'll tell you what, don't say I do everything. You've just lost anybody with any gray matter functioning between their ears, okay? Because nobody can do everything. You know, our firm specializes in this, and this. You know, we have, you know, investigators that have particular disciplines in these fields. Some are criminal justice, but you can't do everything. You can't do everything. And the bullshit detectors are on. You know, your message. How long have you been around? Well, you know, I just opened my agency, but I graduated from, you know, whatever criminal justice school. I clerked for this attorney or this judge or whatever. I spent 20 years as, you know, federal agent, a police officer, you know, whatever. Just put it out there, okay? Establish your brand. We're gonna talk about that. And solidify your position, okay? All marketing endeavors are engineered and designed to reinforce your brand, your message, your position to your target audience. Most importantly, you gotta understand, who's my target audience? You know, because if this is my target audience, but so is this guy over here, the message may have to be totally different to go to them. You know, what does your logo say about you? There's a reason they call this clip art. You know, I love how everybody says, we're different. And you know how many times I see the justice scales, the eye, and the damn, you know, Babby Sherlock Holmes crap? Really? You're different. Why is it the last 100 cards I've got from private investigators have this? But they're always different. Then look at that in contrast to the imagery and the logos that were put together. Again, what does that take? Maybe you got some skill. Maybe you're artistic. If you're not, look for that marketing student down the street, that graphic designer or whatever. Go to Fiverr. Hey, I need a logo. Boom, here's my concept. Okay, boom. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. What are you out? $5. You know? Look around. You know, these organizations, how many of you have ever heard of Kroll? Huge, big time, got it going on. You know? Yep, Kessler. Talent, Grand ISS is actually a local group here. I don't know how active they've been. What is it? Business presentation. Business presentation, professional associations. Again, I'm, you know, it's not so much that I'm trying to sell Fally, but you know what? How many cops would not be a member of the PBA or FOP or anything else? Not too many that I don't know. Say, no, I wouldn't be joining that organization. Hell yeah, I'm joining that organization. Because all the benefits they give me. You know, they're there. They'll be there for me. Trade shows and events. You know, what are you doing to go out there and get more information? Not just increase what's going on here, Well, what are some of the new products that are out there, you know, that perhaps I haven't seen? Web presence, email addresses, direct marketing, news briefs. If you're pretty good at what you do, I noticed one of the things that worked out pretty good is I had 3 people that were prolific writers. I mean, they wrote, it was just, they could write a book, you know, inside of a month with no problem. And I said, just take these things up and we're going to chunk them up and then we're going to send these out to clients as free gateway products. Doesn't cost us a thing, you know. And it's out there and what are you doing? You're establishing yourself as the professional because you're giving them the educational information. Why do you think Roy McMahon has written several books? He is already established as the guy, you know, when it comes to these topics, you know. Why? He's in his, what, third edition of one of his books and a couple others. Boom. As you gain skill, you can write. Catherine in the back is your Fally editor who's doing the videotaping. She writes, and she is always looking for people that want to submit articles into, you know, the Fally form, you know, and put them out there. There's no reason why you shouldn't be writing for professional trade associations. You don't think any doctor or lawyer in his right mind isn't spending some time hunched over a desk or a keyboard writing something out so he can say, I've written this, I've done this, I've been published here, I've been in, because what happens later on is now that gets you interviewed on TV or radio. Doesn't that establish? I mean, that's not going to pay the bills, but guess what? That starts establishing you as the go-to person for this information. Partnerships and alliances. Hey, I don't do this stuff, but would you be willing to work out a deal? I'll give you one, technical security countermeasures. The guys that do that stuff right have $250,000 of invested in their equipment. I mean, they're not the wand waivers, you know, that shop at Radio Shack. These guys have real great skills and skill sets. And there are folks that are out there that will pay for this to get done and get it done right. I want my boardroom swept on a monthly basis or quarterly basis or whatever. And I've had a client contact me. It was a state client. Contacted me. We need somebody in Miami tonight. We need them to go through this facility. It's 20,000 square feet or whatever the hell it was. I can't remember. But I looked at my guy's thing and he said, this is how much I charge per square foot. This is how much I charge per phone line. I asked him, what's the square footage? How many phone lines are we looking at? And blah, 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 blah. And I went, shh, okay. That'd be $14,000. And they said, okay, send him. And I said, plus expenses. Send him. I paid him a check, $7,000. That was the easiest $7,000 I made all that year. And you don't think that happens? Quite often. Once a year, there's always something like that that winds up right in front of you and you go, God must love me. Yes?
I have a question on charging people certain items. We're new in this business. How do we stay competitive, not undercut people, things like that? I haven't seen anything on the Fally website to help with that.
One, there's a geographical thing. What Roy McMahon charges in Boca Raton is going to be different in Brandon or Lutz, right? Lutz. Kidding. All right? So you're going to have to sit there and go, okay, you know, some of you guys go to one of the meetings and say, what do you charge for surveillance in this typical area? You know, because it may be $75 here, but in Boca Raton, he's knocking down $225.
I can use that as an example. I mean, 90% of my business is executive protection, and there's clients I charge $125 an hour, right there in the Forbes top 100. Now I'll get a call from somebody, so you got to kind of put it into the market where you're at. And,
you got to put it in the
look
market.
at the clientele, and you know what? A lot of times they're presenting, hey, this is what we'll pay.
Right.
I get that hit a lot because a lot of people get hit that. So you got to make a decision if that's what you want to work for and set your standards where you want to be.
This is like the insurance companies may do that, and this is what we'll pay. Okay, do I have ramen noodles or filet mignon in the kitchen right now? Ramen noodles, I'll take what you're paying. You know? Filet, I could get another filet with this. And so I'm going to have to weigh that. The other thing is how much work? Is this a one-off, one and done? I may not be so inclined to drop my prices for you. Is this going to be a client, like in executive protection, we're going to do this for 3 weeks? Or is this a ongoing yearly thing? Well, now I'm going to go from 150, I'll probably go down to 1, plus expenses and all my other things, mileage and everything else.
What about things as simple as background checks? I mean, where's the standard on that?
How in-depth is the background too, because there are varying degrees of background. I mean, you can say, look, I can provide you this, this, and this. Pull your basic PLO, IRB, tracers report, comprehensive report, and then break that comprehensive report down and say, okay, I can give you this much information, it's $50. I can give you this much, it's $75. I can give you this much, it's 100 and whatever bucks.
But it looks to me like in my little bit of research I've done, you know, the $14 IRB comprehensive search, people are charging $130 for that.
There are, but see, if they're smart, and even the data providers will tell you, don't use just our report. Get multiple reports. So you're not getting one report, you're getting 3 reports, making sure that all of this is put together, and then you're cut and pasting it into your, you know, stationery and everything, and going, here's my report.
Plus, the other thing too is, on the background, and I've been doing a lot of them, is how I charge too, is if you want, there's some people that, you just do like a printout, a quick print, or do you want an artistic, professional report? It's gonna be a lot more money than just a simple, background check, so.
Well, I would never print out
No, I'm not saying you print out, but just giving
Right.
them, like, you basically cut and paste, what
Right,
I'm saying is,
right.
and just put it on a piece of paper, rather than putting an artistic.
In sentence form. Or
Right.
Right,
Where,
right.
you can put like literally a 1-page report with the information, but you can type hey, smoke and mirrors. I just did one on an inmate in jail. I did 25 pages based on like gang affiliations and what that
Right.
gang was all. You can throw up in it. You can do all that stuff.
And the other thing comes down to, who am I doing this report for? Am I doing it for, Joe Schmucky over here? Or is the client considering hiring this person as their chief financial officer? They want to know everything about him, all right? That is a $2,500 report.
How are you getting to that number?
Huh? How am I getting to that? Because he's touching millions of dollars.
Correct.
They want to know everything.
But
How you
regardless
figure
of
out the
doing
price
somebody
for
for
Joe
mom and
Schmo?
pop or doing some head CEO of some company, how are you setting your price?
Because I do a background on every client
Right,
to make sure they can pay the bills,
right.
okay? And that's how I get to that point. And I look at their assets and I look at everything else. And I look, and if this client is this and they are Fortune 500, whatever, boom, they're paying this. You want to know. And I may go out and seek advice from folks that are a little bit better, all right? But Jack Bellich, he'll pull from all the data, and then what he sees in there, he'll say, okay, I need to make a visit to this courthouse. I need to call a guy out in California. He needs to go to this courthouse because obviously this guy was involved in this. And I want the physical documents. And now you're going clunk, 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 clunk. You're adding it all up. If you think I'm going to just sit there in my skivvies and pull things off the internet and Google, and that's a background, no, it's not worth that. It's not worth it. Your objective is to give the client professional documentation, thorough. I have checked, because if all of a sudden you get challenged, you go to court, how did you obtain this information? Well, I checked and verified through multiple databases. We went to 6 courthouses, and that is a whole lot more, and says you've done your due diligence on this person, you've performed this in good faith, and you've put this report here, and it is worth whatever you say it's worth. You may say it's $225. I may look at it and go, I bet you can get 4 out of that. But that's up to you.